Welcome, Galactic family. No, we do not yet have all the answers to the countless puzzles that have baffled the experts for countless decades, but we have what many regard as evidence that human origins and our history are incomplete. Here are some of the many discoveries that stimulate understanding of human origins, ancient civilizations, and life on Earth beyond the boundary. Perhaps it is time for such a necessary review to explain all the possibilities of these discoveries. There is a huge cover-up that prevents leading experts from delving deeper into some of the findings. The truth is that conventional science does not address or explain the myriad discoveries that have been made on Earth in the past. Each discovery, speaking of ancient human remains, pushes human origins farther and farther back. Not long ago, scientists discovered evidence of an unknown human species that lived on Earth and crossed with other humans thousands of years ago. A researcher presented in Molecular Biology and Evolution a controversial discovery that changes what has been informed about our ancestors. However, this is just one of many recent discoveries that have taken the limits of human origin to a point where we need to rewrite much of what we think we know about our ancestors. Experts have discovered that humans settled in Australia about 65,000 years ago, effectively rewriting history books. This discovery completely cripples the earliest initial estimates that put human occupation in Australia around 45,000 years ago. And there's more. If we make a quick trip to the African continent, we will find traces of ancient human footprints of 3.6 million years. In 2016, scientists found 13 footprints, which according to the analysis date to astonishing 3.6 million years ago. Discovered in modern Tanzania, the ancient human footprints were preserved thanks to a region that at that time was covered with wet volcanic ash when our ancestors crossed the area millions of years ago. From Africa, we go to Siberia, where archaeologists found a tooth of a young girl who lived in the place about 128,000 years ago. What is fascinating in this discovery is that it is hailed as one of the oldest known human species recovered in Central Asia and is believed to be at least 50,000 to 100,000 years older than Denisovan's first known fossil. Awesome, right? But as you probably know, there's a lot more. A thigh bone discovered about 80 years ago recently underwent a series of tests that proved that the 124,000-year-old Neanderthal fossil excavated in Germany in the Hohensteinstädtel cave contains modern DNA. Scientists believe this proves that migration out of Africa occurred much earlier than the experts believed, about 270,000 years ago, which means we need to rewrite much of what we think we know about humanity. Another discovery was made in Morocco, when specialists recovered 300,000-year-old bones that have shed light on the evolution of Homo sapiens and showed that our species evolved much earlier, at least about 100,000 years earlier than previously believed, effectively rewrites the history of humanity again. So we also find out from what experts have shown that Europe was the birthplace of humanity and not Africa, as had been believed for decades. Researchers have found a 7.2 million-year-old fossil that proves that modern man originated in the Mediterranean rather than Africa. But let's take a break on the origin of humanity and look at the uncondemnable structures found throughout the world that completely challenge our understanding of ancient civilizations and their technological capabilities for thousands of years. First, let's look at the Great Pyramid of Giza in the ancient Egyptian civilization. The Great Pyramid of Giza remains an enigma for the specialists who have studied the monument for more than 100 years. No one knows for sure how it was built or who exactly built it. Many points to Khufu as being his builder, but the experts do not seem to totally agree. Then there is an incredible precision embedded in the structure. The pyramid is most correctly aligned with a truly north side with only 3/60 degrees of error. It is also located in the center of the landmass and is the only known pyramid with 8 sides in Egypt. Leaving the pyramid, let's look at the ability of the ancient Egyptians to see if they were far more advanced than we currently believe. In the ancient Egyptian mummies were vestiges of tobacco and cocaine, plants that at that time only grew in the Americas. So how were they found in Egypt? One explanation is that the ancient Egyptian civilization was capable of transoceanic travel for thousands of years. We also have the Gosford glyphs in Australia, which are basically ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs inscribed in stone in the Brisbane National Water Park, Kariong. It is believed that the 250 stone sculptures have been part of the area's local folklore for more than a century, which means that it is not something that has been discovered recently. Gosford's glyphs are a very controversial subject and many modern Egyptologists classify them as an elaborate deception, mainly due to the fact that they are located in Australia. GAIA light. But there also seem to be tools dating back to a time when no one on Earth should exist according to conventional history. One such example is a 400-million-year-old hammer discovered in the city of London, Texas, USA in 1934. It is believed that the hammer head was built with iron purity only achievable with modern technology. Tests have shown how the head of the controversial hammer is made of 97% pure iron, 2% chlorine and 1% sulfur. In China, there are more curious discoveries. The 150,000-year-old Beigong tubes are considered by many to be evidence of a technologically advanced civilization that has existed in the region for hundreds of thousands of years. Experts say that 8% of the material in the tubes could not be identified. Pipes became popular when, in 2007, China's largest state newspaper published an article about them. But there is more controversy out there. Let's take a look at the list of the ancient Sumerian king who states in 5 cities 8 kings ruled for 241,200 years. Then the flood swept away, but how on earth could 8 kings live and rule for 241,200 years? Were they immortal? Aliens? Read more about it here. We also have the megalith of Al-Nasla, which is a massive rock divided in half with laser precision standing in the middle of the desert. This incredible rock is located at Tamia Oasis in Saudi Arabia. The 2 stones split in half have created confusion among experts since its discovery. Some say it was created naturally, while others maintain the idea of advanced technology used to divide the rocks with such precision. GAIA light. And as we are covering controversial sites, we cannot leave out Puma Punku. Puma Punku is an ancient archaeological site located 72 kilometers west of La Paz, hidden in the deep Andean mountains. This ancient site has some of the largest stones carved in the Americas. According to the analysis, one of the largest stone blocks found in Puma Punku is 7.81 meters long, 5.17 meters wide, 1.07 meters thick. It is estimated to weigh about 131 tons. How on earth did the ancients carry these stones? If the size of the stones in Puma Punku do not make you scratch your head, precision cuts and smooth surfaces will certainly do. Not even a sheet of paper can fit between some of the 1,000-year-old stones found in Puma Punku. I'm trying to make a point here, for the reason I'm going to take you now to Ollantatytambo, another ancient archaeological site that is absolutely stunning. Located at an altitude of 3,000 meters, the archaeological complex of Ollantatytambo is located about 70 kilometers from Cusco in Peru. GAIA light Ollantatytambo, the Temple of the Sun. How did ancient humanity manage to do this? In this image, we have the 6 red granite monoliths that should be part of an unfinished circular wall. The monoliths are separated by spacer rocks, which prevents them from collapsing during seismic events. Ollantatytambo, as well as Puma Punku, features soft, massive stones. Many rocks in Ollantatytambo weigh more than 70 tons, and were also mined on the side of a mountain, tens of kilometers away. One of the most curious monuments of Ollantatytambo are the 6 supermassive monoliths that have been assembled in such a way that not a single sheet of paper fits between them. Interesting, is not it? But there are numerous other archaeological sites that deserve prominence. The Kokno stone, discovered in 1887, is a 5,000-year-old slab that features about 90 spirals and intricate indentations that according to many represent a cosmic map. GAIA light. As you can see, countless discoveries made around the globe seem to push our knowledge of the human race, our ancient origins and civilizations beyond the current limit. It may be time for scholars in the collective network to rewrite history books by publishing an urgently needed update on human race.